Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we're going to take a look at the construction progress currently going on at Epcot. Disney has recently announced that Walt Disney World will reopen on July 11th. The Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom will open, while on July 15th, Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios will reopen. And reopening with Epcot will be the International Food and Wine Festival. It'll be an altered version for this year, and they're calling it a Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, and it will run through the fall. We're going to start out here on the monorail. We're going right over the park entrance. You can see all the work going on here. They're working on the planters and the fountain in front of Spaceship Earth. This footage is from March of this year, about 1 week before the park closed. You'll notice all the construction walls that are put up here around the guest relations building and over at the exit area of Spaceship Earth. Originally, Spaceship Earth was supposed to close in May for a refurbishment, but it looks like that has been delayed for the time being, and it will reopen when the park reopens on the 15th. Now we're passing here through the Future World East area of the park. You can see we're looking back to the center of the park by the Mouse Gear store, and you can look through the breezeway and you can see the Fountain of Nations where it was located. You get a lot better view from up here in the monorail than you do when you're in the park, and I slowed this footage down so it's a lot easier to see as we pass through here. Now looking back at the center of the park here, it gives you a lot better view of the construction going on. You can see they've removed the character spot, Fountain View Starbucks, Club Cool, and the Fountain of Nations.
To the galaxy, or exploring a fun new city built on the power of play. These worlds are sure to inspire. If you're looking for an exhilarating sensory thrill ride, step into Mission Space, where you and your flight crew get excited for one of two out-of-this-world missions. And just next door is the new Space 220 restaurant, where you can lift off.
The construction here goes all the way to the exit of Spaceship Earth. So you see those yellow arrows, that's where the construction walls stop. We'll take a look later in the video of the construction from the other side of those walls. Now as I zoom out on the camera, you can see the old Universe of Energy building and what will become the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind ride, which is set to open next year. And you can also see the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which will soon become the Play Pavilion. Now we're passing over Future World West. You can see all the construction walls they have up over here, over in front of the Finding Nemo attraction. And we're headed back to the entrance of the park. We'll go over it one more time here, but you can see all the construction walls there inside the park. A nice view of the line for Spaceship Earth. And then we'll come back, you can see the fountain and the rest of the work going on at the park entrance here.
We're approaching the Epcot monorail station. For our smoking guests, there are designated smoking areas just outside the park. Please hold onto the handrails and stay clear of the doors until the monorail stops completely and the doors open. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the cast of the Walt Disney World Resort, welcome to Epcot.
Now we're looking at the park entrance from the monorail station. It gives you a great view of the entrance, and you can see those construction walls, just how close they were to the front gates. You can see here by the crowds, it was pretty slow on the days I went. This was in early March. Here's what some of the new signs look like they've been putting up around the park. You can see this one that's right outside of the front gate. And before we head into the park, we'll take a look at some of the concept art. Now this is what the park will look like when all the construction work is done, but you can see just how different it's going to look. Here you can see a closer view of the entrance area, and you can see the fountain. It looks like they're going to go back with the design from the original fountain when the park opened. And Future World will no longer exist as we currently know it. It will be broken into 3 parts: World Discovery, Celebration, and Nature. Okay, so we're finally inside the park, and here we are just past the park entrance. You can see this was during the International Flower and Garden Festival. Now we're headed over towards Future World West here. You can see what it looks like with those construction walls up here from inside the park. Now I'm gonna head up here to the exit of Spaceship Earth, so I'm just on the opposite side of those construction walls I pointed out with the yellow arrows earlier. Now you can see the Art of Disney sign here that's been covered. That store has actually relocated back to the American Adventure back in World Showcase. So all of these buildings on the right hand side over here are going to be torn down. The Art of Disney store and the Old Innovations building. Notice the nice reflection of Spaceship Earth in the Art of Disney store there. We'll begin over here in Future World West. You can see all the construction walls as we head up over by the seas with Nemo and friends. And these shots just give you a better perspective on where the construction walls are exactly and what it looks like from this angle. Now I'll zoom in here towards the center of the park. You can see the construction walls. They cover the area before the breezeways if you're heading back towards the Fountain of Nations area. Now I'm over here in front of the Imagination Pavilion up by the fountains. Gives you a view of all the construction from this angle. If you look close, you can see they've widened the walkway back there that heads towards World Showcase, and those lights have been added recently as well. Now we're almost done on this side of the park. I'm panning back towards the center area, kind of where the breezeway goes here. And in just a second, I'll be standing right outside of the land pavilion. I'll zoom towards the center of the park. It gives you a nice view from there. Now we're back where we started over here, and you can see they've cleared this area out here, and they've actually made this a park exit over here, which really helps a lot with the congestion at night after the fireworks. Now we'll start heading towards Future World East, here to the left-hand side of Spaceship Earth. And the construction walls on this side, they go all the way from the exit of Spaceship Earth, and then you go around the Guest Relations building. And what this will do, this will put us between the Guest Relations building and the old Universe of Energy building, and we will enter this side of the park from that area. This gives you just a good perspective of all the construction walls that were up at this time. We're looking back right in front of the exit of Spaceship Earth here. The original Mouse Gear store is closed for refurbishment, but there's a temporary one that is set up inside of the old Innovations building. We'll take a quick look inside of there, but I also have some footage of the original Mouse Gear store back from November we'll also take a look at. You can see they've repainted the Guest Relations building and the old Universe of Energy building. And I thought these lights were interesting. These are some new lights that are being installed in Future World. You can see they have some here that are a few feet tall, and then there's some that are quite a bit taller. You can see this one from a different angle here. Now as I pan over to the left here from the Universe of Energy building, you can see there's 4 or 5 of them off the sidewalk over here. And in the next shot, you'll see the taller ones. They'll also be on the far left-hand side at the very end of this shot. And the work you hear going on is they're installing some solar panels on the roof of the old Universe of Energy building, which this will be the entrance eventually for the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind ride. I can still remember being here on the day that Ellen's Energy Adventure closed back in 2017. I believe it was August 13th, 2017 when it closed. You can see the construction worker here on the roof. Notice my camera. We'll take a brief look inside the new Mouse Gear store. This is just a temporary store that's been set up in the old Innovations Pavilion. If you want to see more footage of this store, I filmed more of it, and it's in the Flower and Garden Festival video I uploaded earlier in the year. Now this is still a really big retail location, and it looks pretty nice for a temporary store. Now this footage of the original Mouse Gear store is back from November of last year. You'll notice all the Christmas merchandise, but this gives you a good look of what the store looked like before it closed. Now we're here in front of Mission Space. If you look over here, you can see the tunnel that will connect the old Universe of Energy building to the new building that's being built for the Gardens of the Galaxy attraction. Now I believe you will enter in the old Universe of Energy building, and then the ride will launch you into the other building, and more than likely you'll exit through the Play Pavilion, I believe, which is the Old Wonders of Life Pavilion. And we'll take a closer look at the concept art for the Play Pavilion, which is on the construction wall right here. Now I'm going to zoom back towards the center of the park, towards the Fountain of Nations, where it was located. You can see the view here, looking through the breezeway. Now this is our last view from inside the park for March. We're going to go on board the Skyliner. This is the view you see as you make your way towards Epcot in the Skyliner. So as you arrive, you see this area here, and this is all under construction. This is back behind the France Pavilion. The station for the Skyliner is right across from where you board the friendship boats at the Epcot World Showcase entrance. This is where you'll find Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is set to open sometime this summer. I don't believe there's an exact date released yet. You can see just how big this construction project is here, and it's going to add a lot of room to World Showcase, so there's a lot of square feet being added here.
We hope you enjoyed the most magical flight on Earth. Please remain seated until the doors automatically open. When exiting the cabin, please supervise children, collect your belongings, and watch your step. Thank you for flying with us. Por favor, permanezcan sentados hasta que las puertas se abran automáticamente. Al salir de la cabina, por favor, cuide a sus pequeñitos, reúna sus pertenencias y salga con cuidado. Gracias por volar con nosotros.
Now we're headed the other way on the Skyliner now. This is on the route from Epcot to the Riviera Resort. And I wanted to point out something backstage here at Epcot. You can see this fake facade. And this is actually where they test out a lot of the paint colors out in the hot Florida sun to see how they hold up. Now I only became aware of this area by following BioReconstruct on Twitter. He had posted some pictures of this. He takes a lot of aerial photos of all the parks. I'll leave a link to his Twitter account below if you want to check it out. Now we're going to go back in time. We're going to go back to November 2019. We're here right in the center of the park. You can see the construction walls here, and this is when they first started removing the Fountain of Nations. One thing I thought was really interesting on this visit, when you look back this direction, we're going to zoom in here on the old Club Cool building, and you'll see they have a couple different shades of paint up here. There's a gray and a black paint they're testing out here. You'll notice all the banners that were on the building for Club Cool have been removed. It's always interesting to see them testing out paints or doing things like this, you know, in the different phases of construction. Now we're looking back at the center part of the park. You can see the pin trader area and the wait time sign that was there for so long. And we're gonna make our way over to the electric umbrella, which has also closed for refurbishment. It closed on February 15th, 2020. Here's what it looked like inside before it closed. You get a really great view of the park from up here on the second floor of the seating area that was up here. And this is on December 31st, New Year's Eve, so this is one of the busiest days of the year. And here's what the line looks like for Spaceship Earth on New Year's Eve. At this time, it was currently at a 100-minute wait. Here's where they handed out the hats and horns for the countdown. And you can see all the people that were here. It was really busy. Looking back towards Spaceship Earth one last time, you can see they waited to close that area off until after the first of the year. You can see just how thick the crowds were. This is here in front of the Mexico Pavilion, but it was just packed full of people. Now this is right before the final illumination show, and this view you see here, I'm standing in between Japan and Morocco back in World Showcase. But if you look really close, you can see all the people gathered around the World Showcase Lagoon. I'll be able to zoom in here and you can see the crowd in between Mexico and Norway and see just how full of people it was already. This is probably 4 or 5 hours before the show even started. You can also see the illumination fireworks barges out in the water. And here is the globe being moved into place for the final time.
And in just 15 minutes, we invite you to enjoy Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Because of lower light levels during the show, please watch your step and take small children by the hand. Get ready, because tonight's Illuminations, Reflections of Earth will begin in just 15 minutes. Thank you.
Now this is on the following night, October 1st, and this is the first night of the Epcot Forever fireworks show, but you can see how different the barges are for this show. It wasn't quite as busy this night, but it was still pretty busy, and I have both of those shows on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check those out, I'll leave some links below to all the fireworks shows, both the last illuminations and the first Epcot Forever show. And we'll end back in January of 2019. Here's the planners and the Leave a Legacy statues as you enter the park. You can see the fountain here. And then we'll take one final look at the Fountain of Nations. We'll pan the camera over here towards the Mouse Gear store. And we'll end this video in the Epcot parking lot. I had someone ask me how to get to World Drive from the Epcot parking lot, and I'll show you how. I'm in the Create section of the parking lot. It is to the left of Spaceship Earth. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of the parking lot, and I'm going to follow the signs like I'm going towards the Magic Kingdom. And what I want to do is I want to take Woodpecker Lane to Epcot Center Drive. Now if you're parked to the right hand side of Spaceship Earth, you will exit out of the parking lot in a different area. So what you want to do is you want to just stay in the left hand lane here. This is where it becomes Woodpecker Lane, and you just keep going straight here. You'll see the signs up here that are going to point us towards the Magic Kingdom. Now if you go right here, that is also Epcot Center Drive, but that's going to take you towards Disney Springs. You can see Disney security here. There's probably a small fender bender there, I'm guessing. And you're just going to stay on this road here. And it is kind of hard to see here because I was driving directly into the sunset. Now you see this bridge we're getting ready to go under. This bridge is where you'll exit if you park to the right hand side of Spaceship Earth. So you want to take the first exit as you pass over the bridge if you want to go this way, if you parked on that side of the parking lot. And you can see here as we pass the entrance, you can actually make a U-turn here and go back into Epcot if you need to. And this is the way I usually go if I'm going to the Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Blizzard Beach, some of the resorts. And I've sped the footage up here, but we're going to get back onto Epcot Center Drive, but we'll be going the opposite direction than we would have gone, say, had we turned right from Woodpecker Lane onto Epcot Center Drive. That would put us on this road going the other way. And once you get here, it's really simple. You're going to go right at this exit if you want to go to the Magic Kingdom or towards any of the Magic Kingdom resorts, say Fort Wilderness, Contemporary, Polynesian. Now if you're going the opposite direction, you go straight here, and it is going to put you directly onto World Drive, as you see here. And that concludes this video. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I will do my best to answer them. And hopefully I'll be able to visit Epcot soon, and we'll see what progress they've made on the construction. If you liked the video, please give it a like. It helps a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Discovery and awareness of the richness, the diversity, and the often surprising. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. Approaching storm waves seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle.
Bienvenidos. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the boat. And if you have children with you, please watch them. Gracias.
Bienvenidos. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado.
I heard tell there's New York millionaires that's selling apples too.
You mean ex-millionaires, don't you?
Hey, it looks like the storm is finally letting up. Yeah, maybe the Sunday drivers will come out and hunt for gas. Ain't many folks will pay no 18 cents a gallon.
Hey, listen, fellas. Old FDR's been in Albany.
This great nation will endure.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah, sure hope he's right.
Number please. I'm sorry, that line is busy. Number please. One more. Thank you. I'm sorry, that line is busy. Number please.
Engaging EcoScan for aerodynamic efficiency. Drive systems analysis. Hyperspectral imaging in progress. Calculating total enviro impact.